8 days left till the Serie starts. Today we look at Fiorentina and Genoa.
Let's take a look at that.
Good morning and welcome back to the Pink Table. We are 8 days left until kickoff. I think the opening game is on Saturday, Inter versus Genoa. Speaking of Genoa, Lane, today we're going to go over the two teams that come in alphabetical order after yesterday's Empoli and Cagliari. Today we're going to be looking at Genoa and Fiorentina. So let's kick it off with, let's go with Genoa, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Genoa is an interesting team to take a look at. They've managed to secure the services of Serie in goals. The defense, not much really changes there, with Criscito, Masiello and Biraschi making up that defensive department. I don't know what you think about the addition of this goalkeeper, Damien.
Well, listen, he brings a lot of experience. They did have Perin last year, which is as well very good goalkeeper. So I wouldn't say it's a win in the sense of adding more strength, but the defense is still the same defense. Its age is creeping in there maybe a bit, so I'm not a big fan of it, but yeah, it's hopefully they can be adding younger people moving in. So moving into midfield, they're playing, obviously, first of all, they're playing a 3-4-1-2. They brought in Hernani from Parma, which I think is a great addition. I've always liked him at Parma. But then we have Biraghi, well, not Biraghi, Bedel and Behrami, and then Sabelli and Tsibora. So I think there's a few new additions there, Elaine.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Behrami and Badelli offer a lot of fight in the midfield. It's obviously going to depend on the day, because you've also got Nicolo Rovella on the bench, the player who's in theory already a Juve player. So it's going to be interesting to see who lands up securing their spot in that midfield. The wing backs are interesting. Sabelli is another one of those products of the Roman youth teams. He's been around the block. He's played for Bari. He's played for a couple of other teams. Not exactly a world beater, but a competent right back. It's the other wing that I would pay attention to with Tsibora. The player is been bought out permanently from Atalanta now, and he's an exciting left back. It's one that I would definitely keep an eye on. And we know Atalanta scouting really does work. So if they've had a player, he generally does tend to come right. And Hernani is an exciting addition from Parma. They made the drop, went down to B, and Hernani has found a spot with Genoa.
Yeah, another player from Parma, which I really like, is Kuchka, but he moved over to the Premier League to Watford, just a side note. So moving up to the attack. So Genoa, first of all, have confirmed Davide Ballardini as the coach, which I think is good. He's been, I forget how many stints he's had at Genoa, but he keeps on being hired, saves them, then fired, hired, saves them again, fired. And they did it again now. They're keeping him in charge, seeing how it does, because I think Genoa, in the beginning of the second stage of the league last year, when they brought in Davide Ballardini, if you took the first, I think, 8 games, they were actually second in the Serie from, I think, just behind Inter for just all the points they were getting. So that was really good. The one thing I would say up front, has Scamacca is he back on loan from Genoa and he's back at Sassuolo now?
I'm not 100% certain, to be honest. He might actually be back at Sassuolo this season.
Yeah.
Let me just double check that quickly.
I think he is, actually. I just had a look. So that's obviously why he's not starting then. So that makes a lot of sense. And that's probably why Ballardini did not favor playing him at the end of last season. So yeah, Scamacca's back at Sassuolo. So that's really interesting, actually, for Sassuolo side. So I'm very excited to see their formation. But yeah, overall, Destro up front, he was doing quite well with Ballardini. So listen, I think Genoa is looking okay. I think the first game they have is against Inter. It's going to be interesting game as well, because Inter is also a bit different. But in regards to last season, have they improved their team? I would say maybe not, with losing Strootman, bringing in Hernani. For me, I would not approve this team as yet.
Me neither. I think that Hernani is really going to have to perform at a high level to bring this midfield to any better level than it was last year. The wing backs, like I said, there's some promise there, but the defense, realistically, you've got a right back and a left back playing centre backs, right and left centre back. So it's not their natural position to begin with. And then the only real centre-back you've got is pushing 40. There's some problems with this team. Let's see if Buksha can provide some goals in attack with Destro, who I think managed to bag 9 or so in a hot streak last year. But yeah, all in the air, really. I don't think that this team has improved much from last season.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Moving into Fiorentina, this is an exciting one. I think they've done some good changes, but I feel that Comiso is not improving the team. Like taking away the likes of Ribery. Also, looks like Milenkovic might be leaving, probably to Tottenham. So they've lost a few key players, but let's go over their formation then.
So yeah, in goals, you've got an irrecognizable Dragowski here, missing his beard, the Viking in goals. You've got Biraghi looking to be pushing to take that starting left-back position. I know a lot of Fiorentina fans who really despise the player. So it's surprising that he carries on making it into the first team this year, even with a new coach. Lots of umming and ahhing. In the end, Vincenzo Italiano taking the job. Very exciting coach. He's one that I was sort of hoping Roma had an eye on before the Mourinho signing. So it'll be exciting to see how this Fiorentina team develops. The centre-backs, right at this moment, we've got Martinez Quarta and Milenkovic down. Like you said, big question marks on Milenkovic. Otherwise, if he is to move, expect to see Igor filling into that position in the centre-backs. Lirola has come back from his loan. Another player that Fiorentina fans are not 100% certain about. I've seen some good games out of him in the past, but also I've seen some absolute shockers.
Yeah, and also, as you mentioned with Italiano, I think if they play the same type of football that Spezia could play, they were just lacking a bit of talent. It could be a very exciting team. Midfield, it looks like it's just pumped full of quality is what they're going for. We have Bonaventura, Pulgar, and Castrovilli. So Castrovilli was part of the Euro winning team. I think he made one appearance against Wales just for a bit. So that was not a great Euro for him, but at least for him, that's a good experience. But I think it's a good quality midfield there. They might be lacking a bit of strength, is the only thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of running and a fair amount of technique in that midfield. When you look at Bonaventura and Castrovilli, they are your box-to-box midfielders in this situation. So they're going to be doing a lot of up and down, but both of them are actually very quantitative and qualitative players. So they bring a lot to the table. Pulgar, between the two, expect to see him drop a lot into the defense, break up that opposing attack, get the ball back and spring the attack. That's more his job. So a lot's going to rest on his shoulders. Maybe they could upgrade there and get somebody a bit faster, a bit more physical. Like, I really rate Pulgar, but I don't know if he's got enough to actually be the anchor of a team fighting for Europa League.
Well, they do have Amrabat.
Yeah, I really like Amrabat. He's a player that I really, really do enjoy watching. And if you put him there in the middle and he performs the way he was performing at Verona a couple of years ago, this is a good midfield.
Yeah.
The attack's also going to be interesting. Once again, we've got the issue of does he stay or does he go with Vlahovic. For the sake of Serie A and Fiorentina, I hope that Vlahovic does stick around. 60 million euro price tag on his head at the moment, with a few teams in La Liga sniffing around especially. The two players off the sides of him, Saponara, who's a player who can disappear from game to game, but when he's on, brings quality to the attack. And then new signing, Nico Gonzalez, who is a player to watch and offers a lot of dynamism in attack. I think this Fiorentina team is very exciting, and I'm a bit sad that it's Roma's first opponent of the season.
Yeah, so Gonzalez brought in to replace Ribery, and Vlahovic, apparently, according to today, there was an offer submitted by Atletico Madrid for 60 million. So let's see how that pans out, and then let's see who Fiorentina would use to replace him. But as of today, this is the formation they're looking at. I think they also have Kwame to come on. So it's decent. I really do like Kwame. If he, like, we saw a great side of him at Genoa. Fiorentina, he's been a bit lacking. But overall, I think this is an exciting team to look at, watch. I'm curious to see how they perform under Italiano. But I think this will be a solid team. I think they'll definitely do well this year.
Yeah, it's a team that on paper really hasn't changed very much, if we have to be 100% honest. The inclusion of Gonzalez over Ribery it's hard to say that that's an improvement, but it definitely does offer a more athleticism and more consistency than Ribéry was offering. I think that this team, we pretty much give the improvement on the fact that they managed to bring in Italiano.
Yeah, that's definitely a big improvement. So let's see how it goes. Like Fiorentina last year were able to play some really good games. They just need consistency, I think, with their coach. So yeah, I give them the stamp of approval. I'm very excited to see how they do, and hopefully we can get them back up to where they should be in the Serie A.
So yeah, thank you for tuning in for this video of Fiorentina and Genoa. Tomorrow we're going to be taking a look at Hellas Verona and Inter. So if you haven't already, please take a second to like and subscribe this video and the channel and everything else that goes with it. And we'll see you tomorrow on the ping table.